Hey guys, welcome to another session of RBTL. So this is update part 2. This is less pertaining to the PvP one. If you did watch the previous video, apparently I made a major mistake, like pretty much back to back, because if Falconer Kluri can recall her skills by the time of maintenance, the buffs and nerfs are applied apparently. So in the previous video I did mention that the nerfs and buffs are applied after the arena season 2 start, which would be April 1st, but apparently it is coming this week, so after the maintenance. So I said that small gate was bad too, and so I take that back. So apparently they're blameless. Rob, I'm gonna talk about it for sure. Falconer Kluri recall is probably gonna be my biggest talk in here. But here, update after the patch. So we talked about this in a previous video. Your awakening stats now, depending on the unit, if they have these stats, will have an increase, which is really good. Effectiveness and effect resistance, I was talking about this on a previous video, that these two aspects are probably the most OP changes, since you're getting a double in increase. So that's incredibly good. If your hero has 2 effectiveness awakenings, one would most likely be a 6% and one will most likely be a 12% after the update. So that's gonna be incredible. You're doubling your effectiveness and effect resistance now. It's the new meta in a PvP and GVG. It's gonna be a game changer. The critical hit chance does of course help. I can see a lot of my heroes getting a benefit from this. So like Luna, Charles, etc. I built them for really low critical hit chance just because of like bad gear composition. But getting this update, and every percent counts when you are rolling your critical hit chance. Critical hit damage, like I said before, I think that this is a sought after buff, but not many heroes to my knowledge have critical hit chance buffs. Oh sorry, critical hit damage rather. Regardless, it's a good buff all around, so you're gonna see some heroes getting really OP, I think. Terra says built them for low crit chance new meta to counter ML Ken. Hey man, it was all part of the plan. I'm being sarcastic, of course. So anyways, hero recall Falconer Kluri. Now this has been a very big topic amongst people. Like, some people don't really understand, I think, how Falconer Kluri works. Her debuffs are actually not that bad. She really, I would say, like, the biggest debuff she got would be to lose her double turn. Her double turn procced at a rate, I believe it's at 7%. It's quite low, but because usually people run Kluri like really quick, and she can increase her own combat readiness. And you got people that can buff up speed if you're using for PvP and GVG. It seemed that she was using it a lot, and for Kluri to get a double turn, especially when she has a really low cooldown for her S3, you get almost an infinite lock on your ice heroes. So people who have faced Kluri know of this kind of like infamous lockdown. Can lock down your Angelica almost indefinitely if you don't have high resistance and if they have high effectiveness chance. And so people are just like, oh, this is great, I'm gonna run her for everything because that double attack proc, double turn proc, and plus she heals per turn, the AoE. And we've heard a lot of comments throughout the week, people making like really like just incredibly bad comments about the quote-unquote nerf, saying that, oh man, she's gonna lose her OP heal. Like, really? She's healing like 1,200 per turn, and the chance of proccing a double turn to heal about 2,000 HP, it's not make or break. Honestly, if you're not doing 2,000 damage, you're doing something wrong against Falconer Kluri teams anyway. So I mean, I don't know. I was kind of like definitely not agreeing with most of the comments on her nerfs. I think that utility wise, she's still very good. Extremely still high ranking, especially for a 3-star. Now I'm talking about Falconer Kluri here, so a specialty change. if you're a new player and you see this, oh man, what is this recall, what is this nerf, don't hinder your specialty change on Kluri. She's super highly recommended because she has really fast speed for a knight. Her S3 has a cleanse with so you can like cleanse all buffs if you get the proc chance, and you can provoke and defense break a 2-turn as well. And again, she can still, after her nerfs, she can still proc a chance of actually doing 50% CR boost to herself, and she can pump up CR, a random CR of one of your heroes has a chance of doing that. So I mean, she's just incredibly good. I don't get what people were complaining about. Yes, it is a nerf compared, but she's still highly rated. I would definitely not recommend you recall her if you have built her. It's just a waste of your time mostly. Like, yes, you get all your resources back, but it's a waste of your time. Honestly, it's she's still good. Terra's making a sarcastic comment. He's just like, who should I 6-star first, Says or Falcon or Kluri? Like I said, Falcon or Kluri will still be fundamental in a lot of defense team compositions and a lot of offense team compositions. She's still going to be too good for PvP and GVG and even PvE. Nothing is really nerfed about her. I was kind of like, you know, I do think that her double turn was too OP, because I hate facing Kluri with that. But now it's more calculable. Like, at least you know that, yes, maybe she will get a second turn if she pumps her own CR in front of all the rest of your teammates, but it's not going to be like an instant double turn where she can lock down your heroes. So it's much more predictable. So reimbursements, I'm not going to talk about it too much. You guys can read that on your own time. But skill enhancement as well, you can get it back. But again, I don't think it's worth it. Ideally, she really only be like getting maybe her S3 up, and that's it. She's a very low investment hero to be very effective. Malagor improvements, we did talk about this in a previous video, so I won't talk about too much about the percent decrease in how much you need to spend. But the Malagor refund, again, most likely by the time you're watching this video is too late. But hopefully you have been using some Malagor goes at a 1-to-4 ratio. You would get 1-to-5 ratio back, so one more Malagora per Malagora go spent. So expect a lot to come back in your mailbox. Now the shop improvements have they've removed the Malagora Goras because I think it's been too long, so people who have had Malagora Goras should have already exchanged them back to regular Malagoras. Now we have Malagora Go in the shop, so this is always available. This is going to be good. We don't need to rely on RNG, so we can also plan out our skill enhancements a lot better, since you know how much Malagora you'll get per week. So you can plan out, okay, should I do my Malagora Go this week, or should I do it next week, etc. This is a new thing, the AP exchange, so the Catalyst exchange. This is very good. You do need to clear adventure up to 9-1 though to unlock this, but apparently each area has their own AP exchange list, and each area has their own catalyst as well. All you need to do is grind something on the map in order to get the points, the AP points, in order to exchange for it. So this is really good because you can be farming, let's say for a catalyst you want, but while you're farming the epic catalyst, you're gaining these points in order to actually exchange it for sure. So it's almost like the concept is almost like a pity summon in a way. You're like summoning. You know that, okay, you can get lucky and get the epic catalyst or the regular catalyst while you're going for the guaranteed one. So it's pretty much the same concept. Very nice to have, definitely a good thing, and I think it will make a lot of catalyst farming much easier. So I definitely appreciate them updating this. The powder knowledge shop is going to be updated again after the maintenance. Now this one is going to be, I think, arguably I would say the first batch probably was the least, I don't know, least interesting to me. But again, to each their own. It depends on what you're missing, of course, and it depends on which heroes you're trying to focus on. But for this one, Sigurd's Scythe, very good artifact. I think right now people are saying that Surmia, best in slot, is most likely Sigurd's Scythe, and not even her own artifact. You actually just heard my farm thing come back in the game. Anyways, Sigurd Scythe is one of probably her best artifact, even better than her own, judging by how much damage she outputs, unless you're probably using her for like something like Abyss, so way longer battles. But apparently she can, like, you know, either 1 turn, 2 turn, or maybe even 3 turn Golem, so you won't even really need Golem 11 rather. You won't really even need her own artifact. I think Sigurd Scythe is really nice to have. If you know how it works, if you have under 50% HP, you get more attack increased, and you also siphon back a certain amount of health based on your damage. So because of Surmia's high damage output, because of her ignore 50% defense, yeah, it will siphon back a lot of HP. Elbrus Ritual Sword is right now one of the most, I would say one of the most meta knight artifacts if you're heavy on PvP and GVG. Elbrus Ritual Sword, obviously it is AoE. If it procs a counter when the rest of your teammates are attacked, and it's really good on like provoke tanks. So like, let's say fighter Maya, Crimson Armin, Crow, etc. It's good on Charles as well, because if you proc it, you can proc a S2 and D spell as well, and so and it's also good on Kluri. So we were just talking about that. Since if Kluri procs Elbrus Ritual Sword, you know, she will be able to what's it called, pump up the CR for the rest of your team. So it's really good, and she can pump up her own combat readiness too when she attacks, so it's really good. RNL, really good as well. I don't usually say all 5-star artifacts are really good, but in this case we got 2 really high-end ones. RNL, really good for someone like Corinne, who benefits from extra turns, and also Assassin Kali. Assassin Kali is really good with RNL, since she really needs her S3. Her S3 has an extremely long cooldown, and you want that reduced. So RNL will give you a 2nd turn, so that will count as a 2-turn cooldown. Celestine, I would say not that important. Could be useful in some healer kits, but not high end for me at the moment. And Aureus, definitely a good one to have. If you're, especially if you're free to play, most likely you don't have a Aureus with a lot of enhancements, so I would definitely get it. It is another good knight artifact. If you're running like a really good defense team, I don't know, like 1 really good healer or 2 healers with 2 knights, 1 with Aureus and 1 with Elbrus Ritual Sword, you're gonna be really annoying to fight. If you go with 3 knights, 2 with Elbrus Ritual Sword, 1 with Aureus, and a really top end fast healer, and you're gonna have a lot of fun in defense teams. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this update video, I believe. Let me just double check. Urgent missions, it's kind of nice changes, some icon changes, some again like the buffs. So you can see here experience and the coin buffs, you can see it now at the end of it, so you don't make the mistake, and they're nice and large. So sometimes I make the mistake of just like going into the run even though my buffs have expired, and I actually yield the run if I realize it isn't. I don't have it, but it's now nice and large, and you can see it before and after a battle, so very good to have. Icon changes as well. I personally not a fan of it, but that's just an art critique. I actually think that the previous one is fine. This little scroll is cool. This kind of looks too cartoony, too Nickelodeon to me. But yeah, so anyways, that's it for this one. I think I've touched upon all the most important aspects I found in game. So this Kluri thing, again, going back to it, I don't think people should recall it. I would definitely say, like, don't. There's no reason to. She'll still be one of the best knights in game, best utility knights. And just, so that's my thoughts on it. So let me know what you guys think on YouTube. Are you outraged by this quote-unquote nerf, or are you totally fine with it? I'm pretty sure most of you guys are fine with it. Anyways, I'm gonna end this here. So if you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.